Hello, hello, and welcome to another live stream on this wonderful Friday. Today is gonna be another very classic Watch Me Work live stream. I'm gonna be animating live on this animation with a cat, with a wizard kitty here that we started a while ago. And let's see how far we are getting today with this. We have a pretty okay timing, I think. Some nice poses that we can build on. And of course, while I'm animating, I would love to chat with you about all things animation. And I'm open to talk about anything art and animation related. So, let's see, where's my pen? That would be something if I would have to look for my pen first, but here it is. There are already some people in the chat. All in One is here. Hello, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today? There's also going to be a couple clicks that I need to make sure that everything is set up right with the comments that I can see. All your lovely comments today. Let's see that. Clickety click, click. I can unfortunately only do that after I am live. Where did it go? And I hopefully can see the Twitch comments today. This is something that I'm always working on. Big fan, says All in One. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. If there's any topics or any type of content that you would like to see more of on the channel, please let me know. Hi, Ivan. Haven't been in a while. Yeah, I'm happy that you're here today. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna be working on today. I think I'm gonna... I started labeling stuff down here. Let me show you the entire screen, and then I can zoom in here. So I'm trying something new today in OpenToons. I'm trying to label the frames that I haven't drawn yet. Because, you know, we have like an anticipation overshoot extreme here, and I want to lead to it with a breakdown, and then I want to continue with an ease, going to that breakdown, having an ease out here, let's see how well that works to mark my in-betweens that I still want to draw. I also experimented with, there is like a cell mark that you can put on. Maybe we might also do that. Unfortunately, all of them do not move when you use like this tool here to move frames around. Then none of those things. Where did the cell mark go? What did I do? Right click, cell mark. I don't know, I do like labeling my frames somehow, and unfortunately the labels do not move. But we're gonna work around that. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Some mention of some software today. Okay. It's just an interesting topic because I am actually currently also considering using something else than OpenToons for my private projects. I probably continue to use OpenToons for teaching because it's free. Everybody who wants to just start with animation can start with OpenToons because they can just download it on the computer that they have and use it, and that's very cool. And it's great to have an open source tool like this, but I have not been so happy with how the vector lines feel, and you know, despite playing around with the accuracy settings and the smooth settings, I sometimes run into very specific problems, especially with eyes in OpenToons. When I want to create my when I want to draw eyes really quickly, let's go here somewhere in it. When I want to create eyes really quickly, like so do you see these dents here? I always I know I might be doing them, like I know it might be a problem that I am not drawing accurately enough. There's another one. Like those kinds of things, like and I play around with accuracy and with smoothness and all these kinds of things, but I keep getting those dents, and they really annoy me. And then if you have very small eyes or something, they tend, like pupils, like here, they tend to jump in the shape. And I'm really, I don't know, it annoys me a little bit. If anybody has some tips how to get rid of that in OpenToons, I would be very grateful. So yeah, I'm looking at other software again, is all I wanted to say. So Ivan mentioned Clip Studio Paint, which I think is really good software to learn, because you know there are a lot of independent artists are using it, and I like, from the little experience that I have, I really like how the brushes feel there. So I think I'm gonna try out the animation tools next to see if that would be an option, you know. And if it is, Clip Studio Paint isn't the most expensive tool that you could use. No, Adobe Animate isn't free. Adobe Animate is part of the Creative Cloud. So if you have the Creative Cloud for whatever reason, like Photoshop, video editing, and Premiere, you will also have Animate, which is a nice extra. And then it definitely makes sense to look into it. So yes, all in one. I do know about Adobe Animate. I've been working in Flash, actually, back when it was named Flash. I made a couple films with it during my days at the Film Academy, and yeah, we used it pretty intensively back then. I swear, like, I knew every single bug that the software had at this time and how to work around it. Blender is also a really good point. Yeah, I've tried Blender, specifically the that paint tool. What is it called again? Grease pencil. Yeah, I've toyed around with it a little bit. I hit a little bit of a roadblock when I realized that back when I tried it, filling was kind of finicky, was kind of a little bit weird, but I think they worked on this. So yeah, Blender is definitely also an option, especially because I want to go more into action sequences, and to have 3D environment, to have your action sequences in, and then you have your 2D characters in this 3D environment on planes, and you can make camera motions in there, and you can very quickly generate different shots if you have a real 3D set. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, I'll also have a look at Blender. Hopefully in the live streams too. I mean, I hope I get to look at them a little bit before we stream, so I have a little bit of, I don't want to say expertise, but you don't have to be patient with me not finding anything. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be a task that I have in front of me for a couple. Again, I want to start my own short films soon. Like the actual animation production, they have been in pre-production forever, where it doesn't really matter what software I'm in. But, you know, once I start animating, I kind of need to commit to something, at least on a shot-by-shot basis. Can't figure out Adobe Animate color swatches. I'm not sure I can help you with that. I only know Adobe Animate from back when colors were not like linked in any way. Yeah, Krita is also a really good point. Like, I do recommend Krita for some people doing like their first steps into animation, because the brushes are all amazing and feel really nice. But it's a bitmap software, which I want to have my vectors. I want to be able to click into the lines and tweak the lines by you know, by having some kind of point editing tool. That's what I like the most. Coming to lines. Do I have courses? Yes. Yeah, I do have courses, and you can start actually for free. There is, if you go to animatorisland.com/2D, there's a 2D animation class where all the software part is done in OpenToons, but you can also learn for other software how the principles of animation work. You know, those are the same regardless what software you use. So yeah, and it's also a playlist on YouTube. We do have a couple of videos now. I think it's a couple hours. That might hopefully give you a very solid start with 2D animation. Oh, Infinite Imagination, thank you. Yeah, and of course I have some premium and bonus tutorials, among other things, on Skillshare too. So those are ideal for people who wanna like see me work a little bit more in detail. Like, those tutorials are not shortened very much. You can see single step that I do. So yeah, I mentioned them in the free course. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, then I'd be very happy if you wanted to check them out. And you know, Skillshare also in general is a great place. Not a sponsor. Well, actually, I mean, if you sign up using my links, then, you know, it's a affiliate link. But yeah, I really do like Skillshare because there's so many other cool skills that you can also learn. And yeah, the bonus premium tutorials are on Skillshare as well. I saw you explaining breakdowns tutorial from 5 years ago yesterday. I was so happy you went into detail explaining where most tutorials I've seen in the past have been like, just copy what I do. I'm glad it was helpful. Yeah, that tutorial, that breakdown tutorial is old. I need to revisit it at some point because I think some things I could tweak a little bit because especially my viewpoint has a little bit evolved when it comes to what is an extreme and what is a breakdown. So I would like to clarify some things there. But you know, overall, this is one of my favorite videos too, because I got to look into something that I really wanted to understand. I'm super glad it was helpful. And I have to say, this just copy what I do thing is one of my motivations why I started making tutorials, because especially like 5 years or, oh my god, Animator Island is 10 years old. Like 10 years ago, a lot of the tutorials and demonstrations, like sometimes you would find stuff from awesome people, like from Disney animators, but they would just be like, yeah, and then I do this, and then I do that, and it looks amazing, and you're like, what exactly are you doing? How does it work? So yeah, that's my motivation. I don't want people to just copy what I do. I want people to understand why I do the things that I do. Hello, Life is Short. Yeah. Okay, so I think we talked a little bit about the software thing. I think this is gonna be a recurring theme. I mean, you know, software discussions always a recurring theme. But yeah, exploring is gonna be a thing that we save for later. Let's get rid of the cell mark here. Okay, so let's just pick a point to start with. I think before I start making the whole animation more fluent, I just wanna first of all, I want to make sure that my timing actually works the way that I outlined it here, because I'm not 100% sure. if I want to keep it like that. So let's have a look at the timeline. Maybe use this. Oh yeah, 7. Nice to see you. Hello, Shaky Bull. Okay. So, we have this pose, this very extreme, I don't want to look at it pose. We go into like an anticipation, and that should... So far, I think we always just had breakdowns for this, not really eases. So I think we're gonna go from here to there with a breakdown. I think the motion is small enough that this doesn't... that this isn't an issue. Now that I'm flipping through it, do you see the ear? I don't like how we're using so much volume in the right ear. This is something that I want to change real quick. And yeah, here is the advantage again of using the vector tools, because I can just find my lines that are responsible for this and tweak this and flip back and forth again. And yeah, I think this is better. I still like that it like flops over. I think that's a good thing. Okay. So yeah, that looks a little bit better volume-wise. Okay, back to timing. I find myself very often just going into this purely structural thing. Like, you know, timing is a thing that you can feel out. You feel if things are too fast. You try to feel like, is a character sad? Then when a character is sad, the timing gets slower and everything is pulled down and things like that. And when the timing is more happy, you're bouncy and quick and fast and excited. And, you know, those are all things that you can feel. But I feel like in a very, like, quick animation that I want to do, a lot of my timing is purely based on structure. Like, what structure can I put in here? And yeah, structure wise, so how do we get from this one to this one? And I would say we don't do any eases, because this is just a TV style snappy choppy animation. So all I want here is a breakdown. And so maybe we work with empty drawings. I think that might be better than the note layer. So okay, so then let's not do the note layers because the advantage is if I want to change the timing here, I can still just go in with the gray handle here and everything will move. Even that placeholder breakdown that we did here. It's just empty, it will cause our animation to flicker. But yeah. So let's try that. Okay, so we go with one breakdown to this pose. Now how do we get from this one to this one? Here I think I want to have two ease frames. I want to have an ease frame coming out of here and one ease frame going into here. And yeah, that timing is already there. We just need to put our placeholders in. So, oh my god, I can't write like this with the magnifying glass on. Let's switch it off real quick. So what did I say? Ease out. Let's just E out. Okay, then an ease in here, and then we're here at the. This is also an extreme. This is also an anticipation. We have two anticipations. We have an anticipation for the anticipation, which goes up, and then it goes down again. So here, I think I want to have a very classic. The classic pattern of let's actually draw. Don't we have a layer for these kinds of things? There we go. We have a layer for timing charts. Okay, so, you know, the most classic pattern you can do, key, breakdown, key, and here we have the ease out and ease in. So we have the key. Next we have the ease out. Ease out. Then we have the breakdown, which we haven't drawn yet. Here. Breakdown. And last but not least, the ease in. Ease in. Alright, the one that I actually want to draw now is the breakdown. How do we get from this one to that one? Did we really not draw that one? I feel like we've done so many... We've done so many breakdowns already. Alright, okay, so I think this is gonna be a very classic one. Where a lot of stuff will just be plain in the middle. So let's have a little bit of like a lagging behind kinda hand, really playing out the fingers being stretched out a little bit on the way down. Okay. And here we have a little bit of a drag in the sleeve. This is lagging behind, it's not attaching down here, already going in, it's being dragged behind. Yeah, what about the body? The body should be halfway there. Then the whole head should be halfway on the way down. Okay, and if we have enough hallmarks in the drawing, I think I'm going to switch to... let's make sure we don't have too much of a straight line. Like, that is something that makes shifts look like a morph if you just pull everything in a straight line. Arcs are always a good idea to do. I do crank the accuracy up again. I know it will have every single wobble that I put in there if I do that. Okay, relatively in the middle. All good. Other arm is also a good landmark that we might want to put in. Okay, so it's only ever showing 2 of his paws there. Making sure the sleeve is pointing where it came from. And yeah. Flipping through it to get a feeling for this. My line art's really not that great today. And again, saving. Autosave, always a good idea here. Okay, so let's continue with the ears. There we go. Let's see how many people are here. 12. I was so impressed by the other day we saw the Bad Guys film from DreamWorks, and I was so blown away by the animation. I really loved it. We already looked at the Bad Guys trailer here on Animator Island, and yeah, the movie, definitely animation-wise, keeps what it is promising, and I guess also story-wise, you know, get like these insane Ocean's 11 type kind of twists. I feel like it could have been a little more clever with some things, but it was so enjoyable, so much fun, and you could really see like the people working on it had so much fun with it. So who wants to see some crazy 3D animation with a big 2D aesthetic, I can really recommend checking out The Bad Guys. I mean, by now it's not like that new anymore. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Aw, some really nice comments. Thank you guys. Jackie Bull says, day by day I became an animator to watching your videos. It is too helpful. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad it is helpful. And yeah, good luck with learning and creating your animations. Charles C. Bunny says, commercial animator here. I love your work. Thank you so much. That's great to hear. Yeah, it's always so great to hear that people appreciate the content that you do, because, you know, sometimes YouTube can be a little bit of a black void. That's why I enjoy live streaming a little bit more than publishing a video. Like, if you publish a video and then like the first day you don't get a comment, you're like, okay, what is going on? Do people like the video? What is happening? And you know, then you have the usual imposter syndrome after publishing a video, that you're like, this is the worst tutorial I've ever done. I feel like it's far too long again, far too complex, talking too much again. And then it's really, really great to hear that people enjoy these videos and find them helpful. Like, especially the breakdown video, I felt like I was going on for so long. Alrighty, so okay, the onion skin is confusing me here. What is going on here? I think this should work. Yeah, it's flickering a bit. That is the disadvantage with that method. But it gives you, like, timing-wise, the most accurate feeling for what is gonna happen. I can understand if people don't like doing this, but I actually have seen a couple 2D animators who prefer working this way, like with these blank, missing drawings. Like, that structurally is the best thing to plan your drawings if you've already created them. Okay, so here's the ease in, here's that. And we're not gonna do an overshoot. We're not gonna bother with an overshoot here, I think. I just want to get them done soon-ish. Okay, so what else do we have? Maybe put in an extra ease. You know, if we don't do a full overshoot with like ease into the overshoot, ease out of the overshoot, ease into the key, then let's at least do one extra ease frame. Let's do an extra ease frame. So making room here. Oh, you can't see the timeline. Let me show this here. Putting in. So here is the breakdown. After the breakdown, we have ease in 1. Now we have ease in 2 here. Gonna write that down real quick. So ease in 2. 1, 2. Okay. Nice. So how do we get from here to there? And we're gonna have to check what we want to do with the other arm, with the arm that is now in the back perspective. So we'll probably create an extra layer for that. But yeah, so let's think breakdown first, without necessarily like, let's not do timing yet. I'm just gonna add it right here, right next to it. I'm gonna do the breakdown. And here, I think it could be really cool to not just do a boring everything in the middle. Like, everything in the middle would be the head is here. The arm is like halfway on the way to the ground, and so is the other one. Let's not do this kind of breakdown where it's just all in the middle. Let's say, how about the entire... The arms are already down here. And the cloth is coming in. Thank you, Harsh. Welcome. Derek asks, why is my OpenToons UI so big? It literally takes the entire screen. If you look that up, like if you Google it, you should find results for this. This is unfortunately a very common problem with some hardware. I think especially with like Intel graphics and stuff like that. Like that this can be a problem. So yeah, it has been an issue in the OpenToons forums on GitHub actually. You might find an answer of what to do, what you can do. So let's take the hat from here and let's imagine how the ears would be being dragged behind, and then we're gonna move that entire thing over. And you know, this one goes in the middle. This one goes in the middle. So maybe cat is still looking down here. Because, you know, just got your milk. Want to keep an eye on your milk. Okay, going in, fixing that eye. I wonder if the kitty should actually look a lot more grumpy, because we kind of start out so arrogant. One of my group mentoring students pointed this out, that, you know, we have this beautiful, indifferent facial expressions here in the the beginning, and then in the end, the cat just has more like a cute smile on here. So maybe we should go into just, or keep it a more arrogant, more kind of like, everything is going to plan. I summoned my milk. There. Google doesn't say much about the problem with the big open Toons interface. I could swear I found a forum entry that was about this, though. Let's check GitHub. By the way, for open source projects, always great to check the GitHub page. And then in issues, you could look for not only for closed, for open issues, but you could also look for closed issues. Big UI. Let's see what happens here. UI not upscaling, that's the opposite of your problem. Yeah, I think the thing is though, like the scale of the UI, there are two things that you can do. Like there's a whole Windows thing. UI shrunk down, that's the opposite problem. UI scaling issues, I guess. Ah yeah, that looks like a UI that is too big. There's a known issue, and here are a bunch of issues. Updating the Intel driver fixes this. If you are on a laptop using Intel graphics, for example, then updating the Intel drivers for your chipset can help here. What do we want to do? We want to change the facial expression to be more indifferent. So, actually need to change the breakdown to... I do like it squashing so much though. Okay, now we have a very grumpy kitty throughout. Hope you have a cool room. Yeah, it's pretty warm in Germany right now. But fortunately, the house that we moved in here came with an AC. At least in this room. This office room is the only room in the house that has an AC. And I'm super happy about it. Especially like now when it's so hot. And you know, usually in Germany we didn't have like these extended periods of hot climate. But I mean recently, maybe with global warming and all, I feel like the summer got more hot. And it always becomes a problem. Like for me, it really becomes a problem when the Cintiq, the drawing display, is too hot to touch. Like I hate that when you put your hand on the glass of the Cintiq to draw and it is too hot to put your hand on the glass and you're like, what am I doing here? With this heat working on animation. So I'm so happy, so thankful about the AC in my office. And yeah, so far it's working quite well. I switched it off because I didn't want to have the noise on the mic on the live stream, but I had it running the last couple of hours, and it's so much nicer. I actually don't understand why we don't have more ACs in Germany, like in office or something. Like in many jobs, it's expected that you go working in a suit, you know, with long sleeves and stuff like that. And then, you know, Germany has become warmer and warmer over the years, and now you still have all these people coming to work in a suit and tie, and it's so freaking hot. Okay. I mean, I would never have like thought about like putting in an AC, or like I didn't even look into what such a thing would cost, because I always assumed like it's far too much. Like that's something that rich people have. Or at least, you know, like, but then you go to like the US. My wife is American, and in the US everybody has an AC. Every house, like in an area where it gets moderately hot, everybody has an AC. Which, I mean, I guess is probably not that great for the climate, but makes these hot summer days more bearable. Only having the heat when you really, really want it. Yeah, it was hot at the SAE today. Let's go. Ask, do most people in Europe not have AC? I don't know about all Europe, but definitely not in Germany. And I mean, historically, you did not need an AC in Germany, because like those really hot, unbearable days where it was really warm, really too hot to work or something like that, used to be only like 2 or 3 weeks, like in the core of the summer where it was really too hot to work. And I think that's the reason why nobody had an AC, because just for these 3 weeks, you know, just for these 2-3 weeks to go through the hassle of installing an AC, putting it up and everything. And then I feel like over the last years, it became more and more a special service kind of thing. Like special stores, like Starbucks or something like that, they would have an AC, and you know, it's part of the, I guess, part of the service that you go into like the mall or like stores there, and they would have AC, and they would also advertise that. They would be like, "Hey, come to this." Maybe a haircutting place, we have an AC. So yeah, right at the moment, at least in Germany, it's a special thing. We're far from everybody having an AC, which I guess is better for the environment. Like even in cars, in the US, almost every car I've been in, like even if I was with friends who were like a little very conscious with their money, and had to save up a lot, like all their cars also had an AC. I might have to start an AC company in Europe. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a market, and global warming is also playing into your cards. How do I put my timeline there? A question from Derek. Well, you need to put drawings into the timeline. Have you done that? We have a beginner's exercise. If you want to check out the let me see if I have the link for this. No, I don't have the link to show. But in the 2D course, there's a Open Toons tutorial in there that you might want to check out. And yeah, you need to create your first drawings first to move anything around in the timeline. Do you use Blender at all? I plan to use Blender more, especially because I have a couple projects, actual personal projects coming up where I want to have fight scenes in, it's going to be 2D animation, but I want to have it in a 3D environment so I can do like cool camera moves and stuff like that. So yeah, my plan is to get more into Blender to do these kind of things, and then also check out the grease pencil again, because I think when I checked it out, it was a little bit too early. It was still like in the early development phases. Okay, so I think this is gonna be nice. I think I'm gonna get leave the tongue in to when he's there, and even then I think I'm not gonna, like, he's gonna bend down first. Gonna bend down first, and then the tongue is gonna come out. You know, it's gonna whoop, and then whoop, 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 doing those little licks. Alright, we also need to think, when are we gonna flip over the hat? We might want to do that during the breakdown. You see where it, like, the layer order changes and the hat is now in front? Actually, it should be a little bigger. Yeah, we might already want to start this here. At least a little bit. Yeah, I think this could work. So, let's take the eraser again. This is one of my favorite discoveries that you guys helped me in the live stream with. If you change the eraser type to segment, we can just cross this out and it's gonna get rid of it. Ah, it's so nice. Oh yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. What is everyone's experience with Blender? Like, oh, new YouTube subscriber, Valentina, thank you. Has someone already produced sizable animation, some good animation with the grease pencil? I mean, by now I think enough time has passed, but I'm always afraid, like, when you know, a 3D software starts with 2D, or when a tool or software is relatively new, I prefer to wait a little bit, so that, you know, all the bugs can be found and all the missing features can be implemented. Okay, so what do we have here? We have all of them here. Let's go says learning Blender right now. Dude, it's my favorite Blender animator. I have to check that out. Let me copy that and look for it. Gonna put it on my notepad over here. To-dos. Oh yeah, I've seen that stuff. I think I can show it for a split second. Yeah, I've seen those. Really awesome illustrative style. Really cool use of the 3D and the grease pencil. Yeah, that's amazing. And that's all Blender. Cool, cool, cool. Eric is still working on the Open Toons issue. Do you have an NVIDIA graphic card? Then yeah, updating the NVIDIA driver is always a good idea. And is it a laptop? Because if it is a laptop, you need to make sure that OpenToons opens with the using the NVIDIA driver and not the Intel chipset. You know, sometimes you can, in the NVIDIA control panel on laptops, you can change which software should run with the GPU. And yeah. Yeah, it's really cool to use the camera in a 3D space while animating in 2D. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that too. That's the reason why I want to experiment with more Blender as well. Oh, Ryan. Can you tell me that I'm right pursuing my dream of art? Yeah, I mean, you definitely should pursue art if that is something that you feel inclined towards and that your interests lie in and your talents. Then do as much art as you can. Fill your life with creativity and yeah, the things that you would like to do. Personally, I think there are many different ways to pursue a dream of doing art and being creative. So, you know, often the question shouldn't be, should I pursue art and animation? Should I pursue my dreams? Because I think that answer should always be yes, you should, in some shape or form, pursue your dreams and make steps towards that direction. What I would add to that, though, is there are different ways to do that. I know from a lot of people, like, let's just take me as an example. I did a very classic thing of like, I want to become an animator. I applied to an animation school and did that. But there are also many people who just do it in their spare time, who work with learn with online courses and stuff like that, just in their after their regular work. And currently, I also have a phase in my life where Monday to Wednesday, I do not make animation-related stuff anymore because it was just stressing me out too much to deal with, you know, difficult clients and explainer videos and stuff like that. So I decided, like, I would rather work more on my own stuff than on client projects, and one way that hopefully gets me there is to have a non-art job on the side, which still related to my interests. I do a lot of like web design and programming now, which I also very much enjoy, which helps me do the whole art and animation stuff a little more refreshed. And, you know, after a day of programming, coming back to animation now feels really amazing to me. Whereas back when I was animating for clients, and then I went back to my own projects, it felt like more of the same. It didn't have that, like, oh, now finally I get to animate feeling that it now has. But, you know, that's one of many possibilities of doing that. So yeah, everybody thinking about, should I pursue my dreams? It's not a yes or no question. It's just how and in what form. What do I try first? What do I do first? And you know, what step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And how does the dream even look? You know, that's also a thing that is very dangerous to keep it vague. Like to be... I feel like a lot of my students, when I teach animation, are like, I want to become an animator. But very often, like, if I talk to them, what do you like about animation? It's very often like, I like coming up with the stories and awesome fight choreography, and I would like to create those big feature film stories where I'm like, you might not be an animator, you might be more of a storyboard choreography artist. You know, it doesn't always have to be that abstract goal of an animator. Like inside animation, there's so many jobs, and you know, especially when it comes to like, I want to tell stories, I realize that a lot of people should probably or could focus on writing and storyboarding to scratch their itch. And, you know, they don't necessarily have to animate like 100 in-betweens for something. Like, that's not what they were imagining when they said, like, I want to pursue my dreams. Oh, there's also a good point from Charles C. Bunny. I do technical animations as a day job. I do cartooning in my free time. Cartooning is such a fun and relaxing way to blow away an evening or a weekend. Awesome! Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Cool that you found a system that works for you. That's great. Hamed asks, can we produce animations by only one software like OpenToons, or do I have to learn other softwares? First of all, I would say OpenToons is enough to get you very far. But I would like, I would probably always want to add a video editing software to the mix so that I only have to animate the current shot and not the entire film in my timeline. And, you know, then use a video editing software to assemble my film. And, yeah. The thing with, you know, choosing what animation software to learn is always like, you don't have to see it as a how do I put this? If you learn, the problem I think that we have as beginner animators is that when we start something, it is very hard, and we have to learn all of these concepts. You know, how does the timeline work? How do I create frames? How do I copy frames? And then in OpenToons you realize, oh, sometimes my frames are linked and sometimes they're not. Sometimes lines and colors are linked and sometimes they're not. And you have like all these concepts that you need to learn first. I feel like once you have a very firm grasp of one software, it becomes significantly easier to learn other software. Because you don't start from scratch. You don't start from like, oh, what is a timeline? What is a frame? What is a drawing? What are the most important shortcuts that I should know? You don't have to learn all of that. You just have to learn where all of this is in the other software. And that makes it significantly easier to learn a new software. I would say that if you know what you're looking for, you could learn a new software in like a week or two. Maybe not like the special unique features that only this software has, but I feel like you would be relatively quickly be able to also animate in Krita or animate in Harmony, especially. Like Toon Boom Harmony is very similar in many ways to OpenToons. Yeah. Is that everything that I wanted to say to this point? I don't know. I feel like a rant about software and encouraging to learn more and learn as much software as you can a lot, because I really think like a lot of people are unnecessarily limiting themselves. And I know it's hard. I do know that, you know, the initial jump into a new software, into a new concept even, like, you know, even if you're like, going from, maybe you want to add After Effects to your pipeline to do some like shadows and light effects and special effects and things like that. And that also super intimidating, like the first steps. But I would say, you know, ultimately, if you have the time, if you have the opportunity, learning a new software is always worth it. Oh yeah, good point, Charles. Video editing is such a useful skill, even if you only do basic things. There's some free and non-Adobe software out there for that. Yeah, I think DaVinci Resolve you get just by leaving your email address. Oh, I'm on my headphone cable here with my chair. So that's a good, even commercial option. Because it's commercial software. It's just, you know, they hook you for free on the basic functions. And there are a bunch of open source video editing software too. Derek now went from the UI and OpenToons being too big, now everything looks small. Including Windows. Well, if Windows looks small, then it's a Windows setting that you need to find. If I'm not mistaken, if you right-click on the desktop, it's actually let's see if I can find that. If you right-click on your desktop, if you right-click on your desktop and you go to Display Settings, you can select and change the size of text, apps, and other items, and you can set that from 100% to 150 or 125 if you want things to be a little bigger. But you know, if things are smaller, that is a good sign. You're probably seeing it in the actually correct resolution. But you know, I get it. On small or on very small or on very big displays, it can be very pleasant to set up the UI scaling a little bit higher. Fridic one says, do you use Tahoma at all? No, I have not really used Tahoma. I think I've downloaded it. I have it. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much they added little functions to make working easier. I just have a weird thing in open source software that I always kind of default to the main branch of an open source project. But yeah, I mean, maybe I should also have a look at Tahoma again. We're not really getting further with this animation here. You know, let's plan this out, because if we have this planned out, I can just animate. So let's do that. Just Gosha is promoting their tutorials for learning animation. All right. What kind of tutorials do you have? That's great that you're creating too. And I, you know, still to this day, I enjoy watching other people's tutorials and how they approach animation, because to a certain extent, some things are also more questions of like philosophy or something like that. I just realized what I don't like about this drawing is that it flops over to the left so much. I think I'm gonna change that again. Let's see. Yeah, let's have it more like this. I'm drawing with the mouse. Why am I drawing with the mouse? I think I'm not very consistent with the size of this sleeve. Ah, Derek says can't read the UI so well. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. But that is exactly what this Windows setting is for. See if that works. Because that is exactly what it is meant for people who would change the UI of all of their software that they're using to a more readable size. Drawing a cat with a mouse. How ironic. Indeed, indeed. I take a lot of breaks. It's really oh, yeah. Wanted Gaming says, I take a lot of breaks. It's really stressful working for people that ask for projects even when the price is big. Yeah. Yeah, you know, sometimes you need to listen to what you can do and not push yourself too much. Okay, so let's flip through this. I think I like this more, yeah. Oh boy, why is all of this so segmented? Come here! Good enough for a breakdown, I guess. Horrible, horrible work here. Why am I live streaming this? Oh boy. Yeah, this is nicer. This is nicer. Really good. Okay. So we're gonna have an overshoot here, so let's just make that overshoot from... No, let's actually trace it. Let's not be lazy. Let's not be lazy, but actually draw. Okay, Just Gosha has rough animator tutorials for iPad and general animation tutorials. Haven't seen their stuff yet, so I can't say anything about it, but yeah, maybe check out what they have to offer on their channel. What am I doing? Overshoot. Horrible, horrible concentration today. Okay, so let's take a trace. And, you know, we can have some flipping over of the hat. Really use that. Oh, is the stream struggling? Do you guys have a fluent frame rate and everything? So I see a little warning message here. Because I was hoping that all my internet problems were solved once and for all. Because I'm paying for some what is it called? Optic fiber internet. That was a good investment. So much faster. Ah, Derek has it solved. That's great. I'm glad you managed to get your the user interface to a good scale, to a good size for you. That's great that you were that you could solve this. Are you going to make a follow-through animation for the hat? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to save some frames, save as much frames as possible, but we do have that a little bit here. You know, here it's pointing to where it came from, and then it's flopping over a little bit more to the left when it comes to the key. It's not like a follow through per se because everything still stops at the same time, but I hope it's gonna give us a little bit the illusion of that. Okay, let's switch off the onion skin and flip through it. And I think it could work as that. But yeah, maybe we want to add some actual follow through. Okay. I've done too much rigged animation lately. I'm so rusty with the pen. Just animating with the mouse. Oh, come on. I wanted to switch that off. There we go. Yeah, and then the tongue starts licking the milk. I think that works quite well. And we do have a little bit of like an overlap illusion here. Let's think about the timing. Timing. Time for timing. So, this is, what is this? This is the key. Then we're gonna go into an... You know what? Let's make 2 eases. Let's make... ease out 1. Ease... Oh my god. This is really not... really not good for writing with the magnifying. Ease out 1, ease out 2. And then we have the breakdown. We can also label it as such. Then we have... What do we have? I would say an ease, because he lets himself drop to the ground. So we have an ease in, easing into that overshoot, and then we go from this. You know what? Let's put 2 ease frames here, and when we do that, we can actually put a follow through here, or not. Am I lazy? I think I'm gonna be lazy. I'm just gonna put a breakdown here. And then maybe nah. Okay, let's play it and see how it is. Yeah, it is a bit harsh. So okay, 1 ease in. We're gonna do 1 ease in. Ease in. Why am I writing the whole word? Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. That is going to be nice. Which means that we actually just put placeholder in for everything that we need to do, and we can just do some in-betweening, which is cool because then I can hopefully just talk while I'm doing the in-betweens. So that's nice. Oh, some good suggestion there. Wanted Gaming. I think every animator should make content on TikTok because it's really easy to grow there as an animator. Yeah, I heard some success stories and some, some YouTube creators who jumped into TikTok and were like, "Oh my god, it completely explodes compared to like, like Instagram and other social media platforms." Very interesting topic, and I would like to talk more about that. But first, we're gonna go on a little break. Just so that everybody is aware, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/animatorisland, where you can support this channel if you like the stuff that I'm doing. If you would like me to do more animation tutorials, and actually I also want to do more live streams. I'm trying to shoot for every Friday now, so hopefully I can make that. This is going to be the first Friday of my every Friday streak, hopefully. Yeah, and I'll be very happy to find all you guys here. I need to go on a quick break though first. Oh yeah, but let me tell you about one thing. One thing that we have at the Patreon site is we have the group mentoring tier. If you join Patreon in the group mentoring tier, there is a members only mentoring session every single month where you can bring whatever art or animation you're currently working on. It could be a character design, a storyboard, an animatic, an animation, or just an idea for an animation or a story. And I can give you input on how to improve it, what I would do. Sometimes we have guests, hopefully soon, that also give their input. So yeah, that is the group mentoring. If that's interesting to you, please check that out. And yeah, I'm gonna go on a quick break, and then I'll be back in a couple minutes, and we're gonna continue with the in-betweening. So yeah, see you in a little bit. welcome back. So yeah, we left off talking about TikTok animation, and Ice Cream Hero dropped a really cool name here. Dan Hovenmeyer gave fan animation advice on TikTok. I'm also gonna look into that. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, so the thing is, you know, with this one, it's actually a 9 to 16 with the goal of, like, maybe it could be something like a Instagram story or a TikTok. I did actually, you know, get a TikTok account for Animator Island, but I have not used it for anything yet. Which, you know, it all takes time to create stuff, but yeah. And I also, like, whenever I think about my own projects now, I'm also thinking about, like, what could be little snippets that I could use on social media, on TikTok, for example, to split the story into very little snippets that you could maybe follow it through the TikTok videos a little bit. I don't know. But also I think there's some great animation advice on TikTok. There's some really cool animators who put advice there. And yeah, maybe I can do more there too. I have to say though, like, I had to mute the app because every time I start watching TikToks, it's dragging me into, like, this endless, like, and one more. And then somehow, like, the TikTok algorithm hasn't learned me so well. There's also, like, a bunch of, like, really stupid prank videos where I'm like, no, I don't like this at all. and still, I don't know, it's so addicting. I don't know if I hate or like TikTok yet. Some more great questions here. Oh my god, how are we ever gonna get to animate this? So okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start drawing and answering questions at the same time. Isn't that a crazy idea? So I just might speak a little bit slower occasionally, because I tend to do that when I talk while I work. So, yeah, fortunately we have lined everything up, so we just need to fill in the blanks. And I always know what we're gonna do next. For example, here we just do a breakdown exactly in the middle. So let's tackle the first question that we have here from Shakibul. Are you using screen graphics tablet or non-screen graphics tablet? I have both. The monitor that I'm looking at right now is actually a Cintiq, but currently I am using a Intuos graphic tablet. Both of them are from Wacom. Partly also because when I started animation, that was like the only option that I had. Like the knockoff brands, or not knockoff brands, I guess the other brands weren't so established yet. So I actually switched from drawing on the Cintiq back to drawing on the tablet again, because it wasn't so good for my back. Like, I couldn't find a comfortable position to draw on the Cintiq. Stream is dropping frames, and it seems to be connected with. It seems to be connected with when I draw something in Open Toons for a longer time. Why does it do that? I mean, the CPU is at 100%. And the moment I stop drawing, the CPU goes back down? What is going on here? And now the CPU is at 100 again. Okay, that's wonderful. You tell me, like, if the stream gets unwatchable or something, or if I'm chopped off or something like that all the time. Huh. Weird that we hadn't noticed that yet. How long should I practice animation and drawing today? How should I split time between the two? Oh, let's go. That's a very good question, and I wish I had the answer to it, because that's something that I'm struggling with too all the time, a lot. I myself, I would like to spend more time like learning realistic drawing and anatomy, because I'm still lacking in that department. I think I found my strategies to like fake enough of a realistic drawing so that people are impressed, but I still have to learn so much like actual anatomy and, you know, learn where the actual bones are and stuff. And I always try to make time for learning anatomy and bones and muscles and stuff. But I don't know what the best balance would be. Personally, but you know, that might be a very personal thing. Let's try with the smoothie again. I kind of like to think in to plan in slots. Like the few times that I got a little bit further with drawing anatomy and stuff was when I had dedicated time slots for it. When I would say like, okay, every Tuesday evening I would have my anatomy drawing course, my anatomy drawing session, and things like that. That helped me a lot. I think I would like to aim more for like a 50-50 split. You know, 50% doing animation stuff and 50% doing more in the direction of digital art and drawing and anatomy. But I have to say it's yeah, it can be quite difficult. And I think I have to stress again that you're practicing at all, that you're putting time aside for saying like, okay, this is practice time, I think is also very important. Because something that we always, at least me, that I always fall into is that I have work, I have still some animation projects that I do for clients. I do animation projects like this where I'm like, it's for me, but it is just animation, and I'm not necessarily learning something new here. I'm practicing, but like this is not like research and learning time. And it's very good to have this dedicated research and learning time, I think. So yeah, I think if I would write like I would notice I have some time, I want to make a plan for the week, I think I would probably plan 50-50. And then adjust depending on how it feels. Okay, so got that breakdown done. Now we have that ease here. We have a lot of tracing to do. What am I doing here? Just tracing the same stuff. But I do want to have that wobbly line. I do want to have that wiggle in the lines that you only get when you draw the entire thing. I saw the other day I was doing some rig animation in Moho, and there are some functions to fake the line wiggle, which I think is so cool. I definitely gotta do that for one of my projects, that I'm gonna fake wiggling lines. I do love how this cat just gets fingers and a thumb on the way down. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be nice. I think we did a really good timing here. And it's just the structure. It's just the E structure. Oh, this is actually an ease in is what this is. Why did I write ease out? This is an ease in. So, yeah, I'd be interested more about like TikTok and animation. Could you recommend me some more artists who are doing art and animation related content on TikTok? I would really love to check out your recommendations. I can't do it on stream actually, but you know, if you have any more names to drop, I would be very interested in that and check all of them out. And maybe we can do a TikTok animation analysis at some point. Oh, one of the newer Peanuts specials, Fake the Line Wiggle. It's the Small Things Charlie Brown. It looked really good. Cool. Yeah, you know, why make life harder for you when you can get some help from good old technology. Now I feel I'm doing a little better with the brush. I had a really bad day one time where I was really frustrated with OpenToons. And I think actually, you know, the nail in the coffin that day was that I had so much trouble with filling shapes in OpenToons, which is still a problem in Vector, which is why I think I'm gonna make a part of the workflow in OpenToons that I convert my bitmaps, my vectors to bitmap and then fill them, because on the new OpenToons bitmap layers, they can do the color tracking too. They can keep track of the different color fills and stuff, which was one of the reasons why I like Vector so much, is because you can change the color in post. So let's make the line a little bit smoother. Derek is still working on OpenToons. Struggling with it. My configuration shortcut doesn't work. I switch my next frame to Shift A. Huh. The thing with OpenToons preferences is don't ever click the X. If you just hit the X in the preferences or when making shortcuts, then it might not save it. And, you know, that is confusing because you did a setting and then it's not doing it. And if you mean like creating a new frame, you don't really need to create a new frame. You just need to put the cursor on the timeline on the frame that you want to create. Let's show that real quick. So basically all you need to do is need to go to a frame and then start drawing. Like, let's say I want to do something on frame 175. I just go to that frame on the timeline and start drawing. And that's all you need to do to create a new frame. Let's do one here. See? It created them. Or do you mean just scrubbing through it? Scrubbing through it goes pretty well with the arrow keys. But yeah, check out my basic tutorial if you haven't. And there's also a exercise. The best animation exercise for beginners is, I think, what I called it here on YouTube. Where I walk you through how to do a very easy exercise in OpenToons. And it should also sufficiently show how frames and stuff are created. At least that was my my goal with that. Ah, Ed and Eddie, yeah. The shaky lines in that show. That's a really cool style. Charles says I use the After Effects wiggle filter sometimes. Yeah. Cool, good tips, good inspiration, and good tips here in the chat, as always. OpenToons autosave, come on, save. I am just shocked by how the CPU goes to 100% when I draw a line. Like I don't think that should happen. Good old wiggle filter here, drawing things from hand. At least to epic music. I'm sorry, Derek, if the arrow keys don't work to scrub through frames? That seems weird. Like, I mean, not if you change them, but by default, the arrow keys should work in not only left and right. On this timeline, it's left and right. Okay. Yeah, no, left and right definitely works for me. Ah, Soda Pop is here. He's an expert for OpenToons. Ah, OpenToons can convert formats really well for coloring. I would convert my vector to TLV Toons raster. Okay, yeah. If you use raster, it works better. Also, you can frame range gap close with the tape tool. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's a little easier to fill harsh pixels, you know, than interpolating the vector lines that don't meet. That seems to be a real struggle for OpenToons still. And you know, a lot of other software. It's not like Harmony is much better with the vector tools. Yeah, I think we should definitely try that with the with this animation here. After we are done with the line work, we should convert it to the new raster layer and see what happens. But yeah, that you're recommending this workflow, Sodapop, is definitely an endorsement. Thank you so much for your input. Okay, got that one. Next we have this one, which is an ease. Ha! And also working as, let's say, the fingers are overshooting here. And you know, then it's still settling down. Hello, Manish. I hope I do see the... there are not any Twitch comments. But yeah, nobody on Twitch seemed to have commented there. I hope I see everybody's comments, because I really want to reply to everything as much as I can. Okay, so let's see how that works. Just for the left arm. No, the overshoot is not doing it. I think it's distracting. Yeah, I wanted to add some pop there, but it's too much. How's it going, Derek? Did you figure it out? Just go into a frame on the timeline and start drawing. That should work. Let's start with the pinky actually here. Okay, so this should make it softer. Yes! That is nicer. You know, and if we don't really work with overlaps, then this is as good as it's gonna get. But we can also at some point still add some overlaps. That might be nice. Okay. And that wonderful segment eraser. Go away, you line. Go away. We don't want to have you. Oh. Yeah, this needs to be done with one stroke. Still have to get used to that. Ha ha ha. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Alright, unfortunately, I gotta go soon. If there are any questions that you still want me to answer or topics to talk about, please let me know. Oi, a comment was eaten by YouTube. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I also have a very aggressive chatbot, I think. Sometimes a bit strict. Oh my god, OpenToons is really like, if I do a longer brushstroke, the CPU is just going up and up. You know, let's just open Clip Studio Paint to see if we're gonna have the same problem there. That shouldn't be that if I make a brushstroke, that my computer is having trouble scoping. Do you have a stream schedule? Yeah, let's go. Yes, I have now. I'm gonna commit to streaming every Friday, roughly around the time that I was streaming today. And I hope I'm gonna stick to that. And yeah. Yeah, I think Fridays is gonna work out. And I'll be very happy to see some people again in the stream. And yeah, do some more fun things. We're also gonna probably keep checking out the 11-second club entries, because I found it very inspiring to see how people are solving these prompts and what ideas they have and what clever storytelling and animation techniques they use that I would never have thought of. So yeah, we're gonna have more Watch Me Work streams, more animation critiques, and I was also thinking, I have a bunch of lectures just laying around that I give at universities. Maybe I could occasionally do a couple lectures here live on stream. Yeah, so hopefully content, more than enough content for every Friday. What was I doing? I was opening Clip Studio Paint, right? We wanted to see how that affects the CPU. Oh, we already worked in Clip Studio Paint on stream even. So let's jump back into Clip Studio Paint and let's have a look at the CPU. What happens when I am on a, let's make a new vector layer. New vector layer. And let's draw in it, and I'm gonna have a look at the CPU. And nothing is happening on the CPU. The CPU stays at 60%. Ah. Yeah, okay, unfortunately, that's not a good sign for OpenToons, OpenToons on stream. Because yeah, Clip Studio Paint seems to be more seems to be performing better than OpenToons. CPU at 80%, 70%, 60%. We're making some cool abstract art here. Okay. And I do have to say, I like how the vector line in Clip Studio Paint behaves. See, we don't have those inward lines that I was complaining about. Yeah, we might have to switch. We might have to switch from OpenToons to something else. For the streams, at least. I'm gonna continue the tutorials in OpenToons. One vote from Charles for Clip Studio. He animates in Clip Studio. That's good to know. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Like, you know, especially comic artists who absolutely love this software. So I'm gonna check that out. Dear Crush asks, do you animate 3D as well? Yes, I do. And I want to get back into that more too. Yeah, I've worked on 3D projects before. And I've also worked on a lot of rigged 2D animation, which is kind of similar to a lot of the concepts that you would have in 3D. So I'm hoping to do more of that. And I think also the live streams might be a good place to start that, because I need to get back into it. I've done so much 2D in the last years. Ice Cream Hero is using Clip Studio Paint right now. Okay, that's great. And Soda Pop says you can transfer your vector line work, transfer it from Clip Studio Paint under File Export Animation. Yeah, so, you know, maybe it's not a question of either or, but maybe they can work together, which would be pretty cool. Because I do like the color management in OpenToons, and if you... yeah, the next other software that I know who can do color management like that is Toon Boom Harmony, and that's a whole different price point, you know. Okay, so I think I answered all the open questions. Last but not least, let me say it again, we have a Patreon on patreon.com/animatorisland. You can support me if you want me to make more tutorials, more live streams, or just enjoy the stuff that I've done so far and want to give me a little thank you, then patreon.com/animatorisland is the place to do it. One of the tiers there is the group mentoring tier. If you join Patreon in the group mentoring tier, there's a monthly mentoring session, super secret, that you can take part in. And it's a group session to which you can bring anything that you're currently working on. It could be an animation, but it could also be something else, a character design, a story idea. And then we'll talk about it in the group, and you will get input from me, maybe some other professional animators, and the other people in the group. And it's a fantastic way to improve your work, but also just work on your skills in general. And yeah, I can also give you exercises on how to improve on what you should tackle next to get the most out of your journey to become a fantastic master animator. So yeah, that's the group mentoring. If that's interesting to you, please check it out on animatorisland.com/group mentoring. And one last question here. Have you ever used a program called Fire Alpaca? No, I have not, but I love the name. I have to add that to my list of things that I wanted to write down for today. Fire Alpaca. Just for the name, I have to check that out. Yeah, no experience with that, but you know, other cool software to get started would be Krita or OpenToons, but I might have a look into Fire Alpaca as well. All right, so thank you all so very much for watching today, for being so active in the chat. It was a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to the next live stream. I'm now gonna do one, hopefully, every Friday. So yeah, that's super exciting, and I hope to have many more cool live streams like this. And I'm looking forward to next time. You have a great, fantastic day. Keep on animating, keep on practicing and improving yourself. And yeah, see you soon. Bye bye.